it going? My name is Harmony Nice and today I'm going to be continuing my Enchanted Endeavours series, and I'll be continuing talking about the Wiccan holidays or the Sabbats. And this episode, extremely appropriately, since it is coming up very soon, I will be doing an episode all about Beltane, or some may know it as May Day. So before I start this video, I'd just quickly like to mention the background change. Basically, my mother had this summer house built so me and her could work in there and do my videos in here, and I don't think the setup will stay like this because we will be changing things around and stuff like that. And also I'm really sorry about the echo and the lighting. Firstly, the lighting is really dodgy because I only have one light in here, and also the echo because there's literally like this cabinet and a sofa in here, and that's all there is. Hopefully that'll get a bit better once the room is like filled with stuff. I have had a change. I know you guys are probably like, oh my god, I fucking hate it, but I'll make you like it. It will get cozy as we go along. I'll kind of get to grips with everything that's going on, and hopefully it will be just as nice as the other one. I do like working here because it is a lot more quiet and away from the house, so I can just kind of get on with stuff and like escape to here. So hopping on with this video will be about when Beltane is, new babies in the southern and also the northern hemisphere, also what Beltane is and why us Wiccans celebrate it, symbols, spells, crystals, herbs, activities, all things like that that are relevant to the Sabbat, how us Wiccans can celebrate it, and also how I'm personally going to be celebrating it this year. If you guys did not see my last Enchanted Endeavours episode, it was all about altars and how I set my altar up, so I'll link that down below if you would be interested and you wish to watch that, and also link the whole playlist of my Enchanted Endeavours episodes down below too. And of course this is only how I personally see this Sabbat. There's tons and tons of different ways to celebrate this holiday. Obviously I'm just telling you what I've learned from my experience and stuff like that. No Wiccan celebrates the Sabbats the same, no Wiccan practices Wicca the same. If you are a Wiccan that does not celebrate the Sabbat this way, everybody does things differently, and that's totally okay. So yeah, just getting that out of the way is like always have to. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoy this video, and I'm really sorry the lighting's really bad, I know it's really bright, but I hope you enjoy this video anyway, and I'm just going to hop right in it. So when is Beltane? So in the Northern Hemisphere, Beltane is celebrated on May the 1st, which is why you guys may have heard of it being called May Day, because it is the 1st of May, and the name Beltane comes from the goddess Bel. And I personally do celebrate Beltane on May the 1st too, mainly because my birthday is in May, and of course that's like one of the main reasons, but obviously because it is the peak of spring too. But of course it is totally up for you. Some people prefer to choose to celebrate it like the day before, so they're kind of like preparing for May the 1st. Some people like to celebrate it on both, but it is most commonly celebrated on May the 1st. And again, this may just depend on which day you have free to celebrate it, but I think either days is fine. You do you. And as for you Southern Hemisphere babies, and what I'm aware that you Southern Hemisphere Wiccans do, instead of celebrating it on April the 30th or May the 1st, you would celebrate it on October the 31st or the 1st of November. Because you guys are obviously celebrating it in the Southern Hemisphere, it matches the kind of seasonal relevance. So now as Beltane's coming up for us on May the 1st, instead of celebrating Beltane at this date, you'll be celebrating Samhain on May the 1st. And there's been a lot of controversy whether you should celebrate Samhain all on the same day, or whether you should celebrate it relevant to your seasonal differences and stuff like that. But again, I personally think it works a lot better celebrating it differently, because obviously the seasons are completely different. From my opinion and from what I've learned, a lot of Southern Hemisphere Wiccans celebrate it at a different time. You do you, whatever you feel like works best with your practices and what feels right for you. So what actually is Beltane, and why do us Wiccans celebrate it? So Beltane is celebrated because it is now the peak of spring. And summer is coming very soon, or for you lucky ones, summer is now here, and it kind of represents the beginning of summer and the hotter and the lighter days that are coming or here. Beltane is the day that honours life and all of earth energies that are all at their absolute peak and at their most active, so therefore fertility is at its peak. It's all about sexuality, joy, passion and energy. This is the day to celebrate the earth and the new life that is kind of stimulating at this time. So in general, ample fertility is the main kind of theme of Beltane. So traditionally Beltane was celebrated to kind of give luck for the growing season over the summer. It was the day where the triple goddess in her maiden form, or the horned god, or known as the green man as well, joined together in sacred marriage, and their love and fertility brought new life to the earth. This is the night of the Greenwood marriage. This is such an amazing time on the wheel of the year for all Wiccans. It's so amazing. It's very light-hearted and joyous, and we are celebrating the marriage of the gods and the goddesses, and the sun is taking over now, therefore the earth is giving us new gifts and life and growth everywhere, and it is where your hopes and your dreams are hopefully finally becoming action if you hadn't already done that in Astara. And most of all, having fun, since this is definitely a Sabbath that kind of celebrates love, lust, and most of all, new life. That was just a little quick description on why we celebrate Beltane. There's a lot to it, so I tried to kind of compact it as short as I could, so hopefully that was enough description for you on why we celebrate it. So how do Wiccans and how do I personally celebrate Beltane? There are once again tons of crystals, rituals, plants, herbs, incenses, activities that are all relevant to this Sabbath, and there are such amazing things to do at this time. And this is actually one of my favourite Sabbaths to celebrate, since all of the rituals and all the activities are so freaking fun. Definitely feel like I'm a Beltane baby, and everything's kind of just based off of love, and it's just a joyous, happy day. And we're just honouring the warmth and the sun that is coming, so it's all very light-hearted. So starting with one of my favourite parts of the year is the crystals that are relevant to this time of the year, mainly because it involves some of my absolute favourite crystals ever. Of course, this day being very relevant to love, lust, and fertility, rose quartz is definitely one of the main stones of Beltane, which is amazing because rose quartz is definitely one of my favourite crystals ever. I've always felt like I've had a really strong connection to it, and I also feel like my rune stones are at their peak at this time of the year because they are made out of rose quartz. So I definitely choose to use them over tarot cards this time of year. I actually heard a really sweet common tradition that I'm going to try out this year, which is super lovely, where you would give a bit of like piece of rose quartz to either your partner or just someone you love to reduce anger, jealousy, or emotional negativity or anything like that, either between you or just if you feel like they need a little bit more help or anything in their life if they're struggling with anything like this. So I definitely think giving something like that on this day is an extremely lovely thing to do and very relevant to this Sabbath. And other crystals like emerald, sunstone, garnet, and pink tourmaline are all amazing to carry around with you at this time, and also amazing to place at your altar and definitely meditate with, either if you like to meditate with a partner or a loved one if that's what you're into, because they all have amazing stress lowering, healing unresolved emotion, relaxing, and also heart chakra properties. So they are all amazing for this loving time on earth. So much like Astara, decorating your altar this time of year with loads and loads of seasonal flowers is definitely an amazing thing to do. Flowers are such a big part of May Day. I cannot stress that enough. Sorry, I'm referring it to May Day and Beltane, blip. And also draping green cloth or tying green cloth around your altar or tying green ribbons at your altar represents the green earth finally being here, and also growth in general, which again ties into the main theme of the day. And of course, either hanging seasonal herbs like fern, rose, meadow street, and also elder leaves at this time to dry at your altar, or just simply decorating your altar with these or hanging these around your house is definitely a really good thing to do in preparation for like spells and stuff like that. And also going out and collecting things like hawthorn branches or birch branches and bringing them into your house or putting them at your altar. And of course, with any flowers, herbs, tree, anything like that you take, either try to find loose ones or ask permission from the plant or the tree that you're taking them from, and always replant something if you're going to take something, which is what I personally do. And also red and green candles should be burnt at your altar. Red obviously representing love, lust, vibrancy, passion, which is one theme of the day, and also fertility. And also a green candle that represents growth, and also obviously it's representing the green earth that is here too. So I definitely think they're really good candles to have at your altar at this day. Also incenses like rose, peach, vanilla, kind of earthy scents as well, I definitely think are good to burn at your altar at this time. I personally always pick to use rose at this time. It kind of like increases the sexuality and fertility and love kind of feel that you want for May Day. And since, like I said, May Day is my second favourite Sabbath of the year, I have loads and loads of fun activities, spells, rituals that I like to do around this time of the year. Not only can you decorate your altar with flowers at this time, but flowers are a massive part of May Day in general. So making things like daisy chains, also making seasonal flower related like spring flower crowns, and also braiding seasonal related flowers into your hair and stuff like that are definitely a very, very good common thing to do on May Day. And also making the typical leafy green masks that you may have seen like surrounded by May Day. And you can obviously wear these lovely flowery creations throughout the day, and also if you're partaking in a maypole. And this is probably the first tradition that you may have heard of on May Day, is the maypole. Like when you think of May Day, if you know about it, you probably think of the maypole. So this is a pole with a wreath and ribbons tied around the wreath, traditionally made from hawthorn or birch, which are both very, very relevant trees to this actual Sabbath. But now May Day poles are made out of a lot of things. They either could be like a metal pole or something. They're made out of lots of different materials. And basically the maypole represents the penis of a male or a god, and the wreath around it with the ribbons tied around the wreath represents the vagina or the goddess of the female. So we are celebrating the marriage of the two and the sexual kind of coupling of them two. And you can perform a traditional May Day dance around the pole at this time. And I've actually taken part in this before. Last year I went to a pub that is near where the place I live, and I don't know why they had a massive May Day festival. I think a lot of places do have a lot of May Day festivals. They had one there, and it was seriously one of the most amazing things I've ever taken part in. Loads of people were dancing around it. It was really, really fun. Probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing that this year. I know they do it every year and it's incredible. So if you can find somewhere to do that with, or to do it with your coven or like family or friends or something like that, I would definitely recommend doing something like that because it is so, so fun. So traditionally this is obviously a day about love. So obviously if you're sexually active or this is something you'd like to do and you are comfortable with doing it and of age and stuff like that on this day, that is something that is massively done. And traditionally if someone would like to conceive, they would leave it to this day, so then 9 months later the Beltane babies would be born. But please, please on this day remember, be safe and take the precautions that you need to. Be careful. This does not mean you have to do this on this day at all. It's just a tradition. Please do not do anything you're not comfortable with. Obviously if you're of age and you're in a relationship or you have someone that you sleep with or something like that, that is completely fine to do. This is an amazing thing to do if you're both comfortable with doing it. But if not, do not do it. It's not something that you have to do. Never ever ever feel like you need to do anything. A really, really nice thing to... The doors in the summer house just opened, so I'm gonna go close them. I'm saying I'm not at all promoting that you have to have sex on this day. If you are in a relationship, if you're comfortable, then have sex. Cool, yeah. Of course, making love is an amazing thing to do on this day, but if you are not with a partner or you do not want to have sex, which again is totally, totally more than fucking okay, because this day is also about love, spending time with your loved ones is also an amazing thing to do, whether it is in a partnership or whether you're just wanting to spend time with your family or friends. So going on walks with loved ones or going on picnics with loved ones or exchanging gifts or baked goods to them, and you can put charms on them. And also there is a tradition done on this day called hand fasting for, again, you couples out there. Some do like to do this between friendships and stuff like that, which I think is really, really sweet as well, but it was a tradition to do it between couples. Either way, hand fasting is a little tradition where you have a ceremony, a very, very personal ceremony between the two of you, where you usually have a red ribbon and you tie your hands together, which I think if you are committed to each other, even on a friendship level or a love level, is an amazing thing to do. The whole point of hand fasting is when you untie each other during the ceremony or at the end of ceremony, untie from each other, that you can stay together but at your free will. Other common spells to do at this time are obviously fertility spells, safety spells, growth spells, love spells, etc, etc, etc. These are all relevant to this day. Kind of any spell that fits in with the theme of the day. And of course all of these spells must be cast with positive purposes and outcomes that you wish. And a really, really interesting thing that I saw of a lot of Wiccans online trying out this year for Beltane is actually, instead of casting your circle as you normally would, you would cast your circle with oats, since oats are a traditional Beltane grain for good luck. And of course, if you haven't already and you thought that it was too cold to start your magical herb garden in Astara, I personally started mine at Astara, but if you've not started your magical herb garden already, obviously you don't have to have a magical herb garden, but if you would like to, this is a really, really good time to start it now. And another tradition around this time of year, which I think is really, really sweet, that I actually did last year, is creating a wish box, which is where you can put like items that symbolize your hopes and wishes for the summer months to come in a box that you then plant in usually a little pot of some sort. I feel like this is an absolutely lovely thing to do, and it's also really, really good for you guys if you do not have like a lot of space to do stuff or a garden to do stuff privately in. And now, of course, for the mother friggin' food, which I know you guys are all waiting for, because this is also obviously my favorite part of every single Sabbath, is the interesting food that I decide to eat on this day. But actually this food around this time of year is pretty basic. Oats and oatmeal are a massive part of Beltane. Oats and oatmeal bring good luck for these summer months. So eating oatmeal in the morning, or baking oat cookies, or baking like different types of oat bread and putting charms in them if you would like. Fertility, love, happiness, safety, hope and growth charms, and all of these things are really, really nice to do. And you can obviously exchange these with your partner, or just do a Beltane charm of some sort that you would like to do on it and exchange them with the people you love. Just anybody really that you'd like to kind of share the love with on this day. And also dairy, once again, dairy is a massive part of Beltane. And once again, if you do not eat dairy, there are tons and tons of amazing substitutes that you can get. There are loads of different types of cheeses that you can get and different types of milk. If you do bake some like oatmeal cookies, you would like to have with some like warm dairy-free milk, almond milk or oat milk, which actually is a thing as well. It's really, really good to drink and really, really nice. Again, that ties in with kind of Beltane sort of theme there. And also a couple of weeks before, Wiccans can make May Day wines or Hawthorn brandy. Unfortunately, I tried to make some May Day wine one year and it failed miserably. And also going for a picnic either with your partner or just your loved ones is also an amazing thing to do, to kind of like exchange your baked goods if you've done some baking for this day, or just spend some kind of valuable time together on this day, especially going to the woods and having a picnic there is really, really good to kind of just appreciate the growth and the growing and the kind of the green world that is now coming to life, the new life, and everything is here. Also, you guys may have heard of having a Beltane fire, and this is actually a really, really old tradition where you would take 9 different types of the sacred woods, and you can do this in a place where you have permission to do this, or either in your actual home, or maybe outside you have like a little pit that you could burn a fire or something like that. And you take these 9 types of sacred wood, and people like to either like eat round it or have a kind of celebration or do rituals around it. And after that, you can either use the ashes for kind of fertility rituals or any other rituals that you think would be appropriate to use these ashes to do with this day would be, or you can simply use it to cleanse your tools ready for the summer rituals and spells that you will be partaking in. But once again, these are only a couple of things that you could do on Beltane. There's tons and tons of things that you can do. So now, how am I going to celebrate Beltane? So this year I'm going to be celebrating Beltane really, really simple. So I'm spending the evening before with my boyfriend. And this is actually the first time that I've been with someone on May Day. So I'm going to obviously collect flowers and decorate my altar with flowers and do all the other things that I mentioned with my altar, including like placing these specific crystals in there on that day, and also lighting some rose incense, tying some green ribbons. I think would probably work better for my altar this year, since I've changed it around a bit since last year. I'm going to be purchasing 3 bits of rose quartz, 2 of which are going to people that I love and care for and that I feel like kind of need rose quartz around this time, but also to kind of show my love and appreciation for them. The other I'm going to use for myself for Beltane. I'm going to use it for a spell that I've planned out, and also lots and lots of meditation in general, just kind of carrying it around with me this time. I also plan to do a growth and a luck spell that I'm going to be doing either the day before or actually on May Day. And I'm definitely going to be using oats to cast my circle. I definitely think that is an interesting thing to do, so I'm going to be doing that as well this year. I'm going to be trying baking some oat cookies because I've seen an amazing recipe for them online. I'm also in the process of making a flower crown for this day, and I'm going to be wearing red and green as well to honour the Sabbath. And I'm going to be waking up with my boyfriend on this day. It's actually going to be okay weather on May Day this year, which is really, really, really good. So I'm going to be taking him on a picnic into one of my favourite woodland areas that has like a little river on it and stuff, so we're going to go on a picnic there. But most of all, I'm going to be spending my time appreciating the Sabbath and everything that it stands for, get out of the house as much as I can, and also just embracing the time with my partner. Just as good, since this is a very, very love, lustful kind of time. But most of all, be safe on this day and have fun, and spend it with people you feel safe with and that you love and that you know love you back. It's a very, very light-hearted, lovely, kind of just like free Sabbath, so just embrace it, go for it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave a comment down below how you are personally spending Beltane. I really, really like to know. I love reading your comments and like what you do for these things, and like if you're gonna try any of these things that I mentioned out, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.